Well, hello again, and it's Mugetsu, this time with the MMXOD stream, which, well, started a little late because we did the kind of emergency dive stream. Okay, but, well, we're finally here. I know that this is the highlight that most people were waiting for, so let's get to it. You know what? Considering that I didn't get to play this map yesterday, well, last night, I'm gonna play this one, and I'm curious about it. Okay, the match has already started. Let me do my usual thing, and get to the stream chat, share the link. Hello, Gana Hater. Welcome back. Okay, I'm just setting things up, and then, well, just give me a moment. Okay, while people join, just let me, let people know. Alright. Okay, that's done. I mean, the basic steps are done. Now it's literally to wait. Well, we can play while people join. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, just barely. Not gonna lie, I actually like fighting with Buster X, but most of the time it's not viable. Okay, I need something with longer range. Okay, that one failed. Damn it. Hello, bye Hyper, welcome. Okay, not gonna lie, the Giga Buster is a tough matchup this early in the game. Okay, this is not really working for me. Hello, Try Optimum. Welcome. Okay. Let me select another map. You know what? I don't think people will join this time. You know what? I'm gonna try something different. Bueno, el de Mega Man Zero es más como una tanga. El de Mega Man X son panties. Sicily Circus. Let's zoom mega creep. Well, I can't do Godsman's voice. Okay. Invasion 0, 1, 3, 4, join. Okay, who the hell are these guys? And okay. I have no idea who these guys are, but whatever. Bots. I don't think that they are bots. Okay, never mind. I forgot I need 10 scrap. Ah, then. Okay, let's see another map. And this is going to be pure chaos. I think that the guys left. Or maybe they didn't have the map. Well, I think that that's solved by itself. That's weird. How much do you know about Mega Man 4 on Game Boy? Absolutely nothing. developers are Boatman, Shadowman, Brightman, Rainman, Sabonman, Chargeman, Stoneman, and Crystalman. Okay? Alright, the invasion is here again. I think I know who this might be. Also, Mega Man 4 Game Boy is the first game where Robot Master weapons have secondary utilities that affect the stage, like Rain Flush can harden the sand in Pharaoh Man's stage and put out instant kill fires. Well, since the Thunder Beam, that is. I don't think it's Papu. I don't want to say who this might be, but I have my suspicion. Yeah, in any case, I'm just gonna keep playing. And let's see. Okay, the invasion apparently has the map. Alright. Okay, I have no idea. You know, the funniest thing is that this is basically recorded evidence about cheating behavior. So, if there is a way to identify who's doing this, well, I guess that could be a permanent in-game ban, but, well, I'm not the developers, I don't know. You know, the fun thing is that they are basically 3 points Also, the ring boomerang can catch items and bring them back to you like boomerang cutter and X1. Okay, that is interesting. I would have expected that from Quickman's boomerang being the OG. And so the invasion left. Okay, it's not who I was thinking because they speak Spanish. I was thinking of someone else. Okay. Alright, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Papu or... I think that Papu wouldn't be pushing his luck like this. I don't think it was him. But I think that it was probably someone from the community trying to do a funny prank, I guess. Mega Man 4 Game Boy is also the first game to have a shop where you buy items. I have no idea where that started, because I know that it was a thing since Mega Man 7. I mean, it was a thing in Mega Man 7, because that was the only Mega Man game besides Mega Man and Base that I played before the streams. Okay, so it was you. Alright. Somehow, I'm not entirely surprised, but I thought it was someone else. Also, quite a few people think Mega Man 4 Game Boy is better than NES 4 and 5. I have no idea. I know that Mega Man 2 Game Boy is a pretty good game. Mega Man 3 was cancer. I mean, Game Boy was cancer. There is also a buster upgrade in Mega Man 4 Game Boy, where if you game over 3 times in one level, Dr. Light will give you an upgrade, and your shot moves fast like the NES games, and the charge up becomes a game move. Okay, that is brutal. I don't think I should. Yeah, I think somehow I feel like the save states are less OP than that. Yeah, somehow I feel like the save states are less OP than the buster upgrade from that thing. Okay, well, I could get it, but I wouldn't want to have to overuse it. Okay, so recoil is a thing. Okay, this map is chaotic, it's crazy. It can be fun, but I understand the feeling. Objects. I wonder how he got away with that. Mega Man 8, can you play the Saturn version? What's wrong with the PlayStation 1 version? I intended to play the PlayStation 1 version, but I would like to know if there's any significant difference. I see, okay. Alright, in that case, it's gonna be the Saturn version, alright. Inafune also wanted Mega Man 8 and X4 to be Saturn exclusive. That would have been a very different timeline. Hello, this is Korea. Welcome. Yes, Edgar. It's a bubble map. Also, this is a bubble map too. Mega creep. Mega tweet. I have no idea that they have, you know, like non-original music in the Mario movie. Yes. It's based on a meme. I don't know where it comes from. I know that the animation style looks very similar to the Proud family from Disney, but I don't know for sure. Take and Me was used when Mario and Peach were going to the Donkey Kong Kingdom for the first time to help in the war against Bowser. So I thought that the Smash Bros thing was a meme. So is it real? There's gonna be a Smash Cinematic Universe? Okay, this timeline got weird. Really weird.
Pero lleva mucho botiquín, porque mucha gente cae ahí. Ponte ahora tu mejor skin, vámonos de fiesta.
Yeah, I was aware that Donkey Kong has been in Mario's universe since the very beginning. Yoshi Dirty if that is the case. God damn it. You know, it's funny. When I use Chameleon Sting, everyone busts out Boomerang Feather. If anyone else uses it, it's fine. Okay, okay, so that's how we roll. You know what, Edgar? I hadn't thought about that. That is actually pretty epic. That the war didn't end. They just changed battlefield. I know, Uganda hater, but in the Mega Man XOD server, pretty much everyone hated me for using Chameleon Sting. You know, it's funny because for some reason I seem to have a knack for making game communities hate me, because in Dive, they hate me because I don't use meta to fight. And to the Wells, I'm basically an unruly peasant that has to be crushed. And in Mega Man XOD, they hate me because of Chameleon Sting. Hey Mark, did you even know about the Sega Genesis in the 90s? To be honest, not really. I only learned about the Sega Genesis, I think that in the 2000s, you know, and in the context of emulation, you know, but in the context of native consoles, I think that the Sega Genesis was virtually non-existent in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. It was all Super Nintendo, and also the Family Game. The famous Nintendo clone. Yeah, the Sega Genesis was not a thing in the Yucatan Peninsula. I'm not sure. I think I only heard about it in like gaming magazines. But I'm pretty sure it was after the 2000s. I don't think I did until 2004, 2006, when I started to play Aladdin and only Aladdin on a Genesis emulator. Yeah, when I began to learn about emulation, you know, about Super Nintendo emulation, I came across the Sega console names. So yeah, I didn't hear about the Genesis in the 90s. I'm surprised the Genesis was obscure since the Master System is so popular in Brazil. The Master System, I think, actually made it to Mexico, you know, to southern Mexico. Because I told you that there was a console that I didn't remember the name. I don't know for sure, but it was like contemporary to the Atari that my mom simply called the Sega. That was the console, the Sega. I don't know exactly if it was the Master System or if there was even any console before the Master System. But that was it. I did know that console even if I didn't know the name. And I still remember one of the games that was called Pole Position. It was like a, you know, a Formula 1, I think, racing game. And it was neat because it had day-night transition and that kind of thing, like the stages changing along as you raced. That was pretty neat, and you know, for people who live in a very backwards place, that was a technological leap to see a game be able to do that. The Master System is basically the NES of Sega. Yeah, I'm aware. But I don't know if it was a Master System or if it was a console before. But yeah, there was a console that was of my mom's that she simply called the Sega. And I played it when I was 4 or 5 years old, before I was gifted the Super Nintendo. And also there's a distinction because that was my mom's console. And the Super Nintendo was the first console that was mine. It was a gift from my cousins. It was a miracle if we even got access to the NES in Mexico. Yeah, technically we did get access to the NES, but we didn't know it, Edgar, because it was called the Family Game. It was a literal clone of the NES. And I remember because one of my best friends in elementary school had that console. It was literally an NES. I was even surprised because I saw that this console had the NES games, but they called it the Family. And then I found that in Japan they called the Nintendo the Family Computer. So I assumed that it was a Japanese NES. But then I learned years later that it was a Chinese clone. I didn't see the chat, actually. Master System equals exclusive Ninja game. Yeah, even I remember that one. In Mexico, Sega became really obscure after the Master System because seriously, in the 90s, it was all the Super Nintendo. There was no mention on any other console. I didn't even know about the TurboGrafx 16. I think the TurboGrafx 8, I forgot the name. I didn't hear about that console until years later, in the context of emulation. I thought the NES was more popular in the Mexico area since most of my cousins in Tijuana had one. And in Southern California there was even a Krusty the Clown like show with a guy and a King Koopa. Well, the thing about that, Ruby Spears, is that northern Mexico is a hell of a lot closer to the US in terms of development and wealth. So it's no surprise if kids in Tijuana actually had the NES, I mean the real NES. Now, southern Mexico, it's a whole other kind of worms, because I have mentioned it before, this is a green Siberia. It's a backwards, undeveloped, this is a place Mexico doesn't care about at all. And it has been since the times of the Spanish colony. I'm not kidding. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. So yeah, there's a huge difference between northern Mexico, which is highly industrialized and close to the US physically, and the other parts of the country which, if you're not in the center, you don't exist for the federal government. I was excited about your story thinking it was the OG Japanese NES. I mean, I was a kid. I tried to investigate with what little material I had at hand. And you know, the Club Nintendo magazines, you know, the ones by Gus Rodriguez, they mentioned, I think at some point, that the name of the Nintendo NES console in Japan was the Famicom, family computer. So when my friend told me that his console was a family and it plays and it plays Nintendo games, yeah, I assumed it was a Japanese Nintendo because I didn't have any other explanation that made sense. I mean, I was like 6, 7 years old. That was all I could come up with. I'm sorry about the disappointment. But again, you know, even in the Yucatan Peninsula, the area I'm in, is one of the most backwards and underdeveloped, you know, compared to like Merida, Yucatan. That is actually the closest thing we have to a big city. So where I live, it's very backwards, and we didn't have access to a lot of stuff. So it's no surprise that the actual NES was unknown, but we knew the bootleg. Nobody could afford a TurboGrafx back in the day, and most of the library was weird anime games. First world ignorance in my case, I suppose. I don't blame you, because, like I'm telling you, the thing is that Mexico is very inconsistent in terms of development, and you know, the US is a way bigger country. I know Mexico is pretty much a small country. I know it doesn't compare in size, but I mean the US is more consistent. You know, all the areas are more developed, at least to some extent. I know it's not the same, but it's a little bit more standardized compared to Mexico. Mexico is not even a big country, but outside of the center and the north, it's widely random how developed it is. And the region I mean is one of the least developed, and it has been that way for the last 5 centuries. Can confirm it's the land of not getting the same stuff as the north, and if you do, it's only the leftovers. This extends but isn't limited to. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The Yucatan Peninsula is that. Mexico is scary. Well, yeah, I mean, even to native Mexicans, it can be, not gonna lie. If you know your way around, you can be mostly safe. Like, let me tell you that there is a blessing and a curse to living in a very backwards place. The place I live is so boring that nothing ever happens. So, if you wanted, you could be walking in the streets at like 3 a.m. drunk, drugged, and it's 80% likely that nothing will happen to you. That's how boring this place is. You can do like the most daring, dangerous things, and nothing will happen because literally nothing ever happens in this place. And we have it comes with some quirks. Like for example, the Oxxos, which are like Mexican 7-Eleven, they are supposed to be 24/7. You know, in pretty much most places in Mexico, and I think that in the US, those convenience stores are supposed to work, you know, all 24 hours of the day. Well, let me tell you that there are two distinct traits of the Oxxos in where I live. The first one, they close at 11 o'clock. I'm not kidding, they close. The second, they do not sell alcohol. In every other state, they sell at least beer. And you know, the funny thing is, one of my friends who comes from another state in Mexico, he didn't believe me. You know, like, ain't no way they don't sell beer in Oxxo. Okay, see for yourself. And then he went in, he asked for a beer, and the clerk tells him, we don't sell alcohol. And he basically got a blue screen of death, you know, a mental blue screen of death. He got PTSD from that. I can tell you, he got PTSD from that. And you're right, Edgar. Yeah, video games, Hot Wheels, Pringles, Oreos. Yeah, a lot of things that exist in Mexico Center and North are non-existent in here. Logic being one of them too. Yeah. I remember that one time I asked some US friends, what is the most backwards and undeveloped place in the US? Because I would like to know to establish a comparison. They told me that it's kind of a toss-up between Mississippi and Detroit. So technically the place where I live is like Mexican Mississippi. Maybe not so much Detroit, because I told you, it's so boring that it's not even violent. There is not even violence because it's such a boring place. Imagine that a place is so boring, there is almost no crime. Just because there's almost nobody in the freaking state. I mean, in the whole miserable state. Well, I forgot how many Yucatan has, but the others, they have less than 1 million population. The state. Try to imagine, like for example, a US state like Florida. You know, I don't know how many million people it has. Okay, but imagine that a state the size of Florida has 800,000 people. Can you even imagine? Can you even grasp how backwards and undeveloped would be a place with such a low population? Because that is my reality. That is exactly my reality. You must be envious. I live in San Francisco area, and I used to have FAO Schwartz. I used to go to as a kid. I mean, I think I was envious of every kid that was born in the US or in Mexico Federal District. You know, Mexico City. Yeah, because I for some reason, I mean, life decided to make me be born in a backwards, boring place where nothing interesting ever happens, and when there is nothing of value, nothing interesting. Yeah, you could say that. But at least getting 100 liters of water doesn't take more than 20 minutes and 50 Mexican pesos. Yeah, okay, we have an abundance of water, yes. That's the only thing we have. Yeah, that's the only thing we have. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I feel pretty sad that the only perk there is to living here is water. That has been to one of the lamest perks of a living place. You know, like, hey, we have water. And yeah. And you know, in the meantime, South American people make this meme that says Viva Mexico, se muere de sed. That's basically long live Mexico, dies of thirst. Because northern Mexico actually doesn't have any water, or has very little. And they suffer from droughts and stuff, but you know what? Having water is lame. I would trade it for literally anything else, because what is the good thing about living where you live? Water. Yeah, no, that is, you know, that is like having the power of speaking all languages when your mouth is closed. That is the level of lame that is. Florida is already super backwards, even with millions of people there. FAO Schwartz is basically the toy store from Home Alone 2. Yeah, in that case, yes, I was envious of you as a kid. I never had any chance to visit any place resembling that store. And I probably never will. I mean, well, it's pointless now. But I didn't get to enjoy many things as a kid. And that is sad. Okay, the next one is gonna be Forest X. Okay. Well, I think that in Mexican logic, I mean Mexican Alabama would be Monterrey, just because you know of the cousins thing. Edgar has a good point. Yeah, your experience as a kid in the Yucatan Peninsula is probably one of the worst in Mexico. I'm not even talking about the world. Just in Mexico alone, being a kid in the Yucatan Peninsula is one of the lamest things. FAO Schwartz also was a place new video games and systems were being shown off and had playable kiosks of games that weren't even out yet. Yeah. You know what? If reincarnation exists, I hope that I get reborn as a kid in the 90s in the United States, because it's completely unfair. What did I even do to be born in this horrible place? I have no idea. Maybe my past life committed some serious crimes against humanity, and my punishment was to grow up in one of the most boring places ever. Who knows? Maybe? Maybe that was my punishment. Yeah. Okay, but seriously, a lot of people say, you know, like, this is so bad, I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. Well, I don't know about you, but if my worst enemy was going to die, let's say, so I have to give them a punishment that's worse than death, I would give them that, you know, you're going to be reborn in the Yucatan Peninsula in the 90s. Because you're not gonna die of hunger, thirst, or, you know, disease and that things. You're gonna die of boredom. You're gonna wish you die. Because you're gonna live in such a backwards place with nothing interesting. And you know what? The sad thing is, in 30 years, this place hasn't made any single semblance of progress. You know, normally cities evolve and improve, and I mean, there are improvements to infrastructure and all that. Yeah, that doesn't happen here. Yeah, that in 30 years, absolutely zero progress, to the point that the entire place is like stuck in the 90s, but only with the bad things from the 90s. FAO Schwartz also had like segments of the store dedicated to certain company like Nintendo, Sega, and Sony, and those segments were even bigger than most video game stores now. With every comment, I am increasingly sad I never got a chance to experience that. And you know, because I'm not gonna have children, yeah, there's no way I can experience that ever again. And I mean, even if I had children, it's a whole completely, it's a different time now, so yeah, that wouldn't even work. So yeah, I completely missed out on that, and it sucks. It sucks completely. I found a video of AKO Shorts from 1993. Do you want me to show you to show you it on Discord? Yeah. I have never even heard about the place, so you can imagine how much under a rock I have been living. To be honest, if it weren't for the internet, I wouldn't know about so many things about the outside world. Because this place is so limited. For example, if it weren't for the internet, I would have never known about like Wendy's or, well, almost McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's, everyone knows it because it's even on TV and on series. But there are a lot of things, I can't even begin to list them all, that I only know them because of the internet, or at best because of television, but never because of real experiences in real life. This place kinda has the, you know, like the Darwin Awards, you know, the prize for being so bad at something, that it had once a single McDonald's and the McDonald's left. So this place is so bad, not even a McDonald's could prosper. Let's add the same foods only policy to that. Fate worse than death by boredom. I mean, in the Yucatan Peninsula, basically, you're confined to eating beans, pork, beans with pork, pork with beans. Yeah, and literally, the entire cuisine is either beans, pork, and maybe rice, or if you live in a coastal place, fish. Which, to be honest, I don't personally like, because my grandma forced me to eat fish when I was a kid, so yeah, I'm not fond of it. It brings back bad memories. You know, as an adult, rationally thinking, my grandma is a nurse. She knew that, you know, the iodine in fish is good for the brain, so I think that in the end, she was right. I mean, I'm not as stupid as I could have been, maybe, thanks to that, but I still don't like fish. I don't like fish for the sole fact that I was forced to eat it as a kid. I do like shrimp. Like, if you give me a shrimp cocktail, you know, well, prepared in the way that we do here, okay, I'll take that. That is one of the best foods I can enjoy. But if you offer me fish, yeah, I'm just gonna slap you in the face. Well, not really, but I will do it in my mind. Screw your otaku nonsense. I wanna go to Japan just to try the most ridiculous Pringles, Oreos, Kit Kats, Doritos, Skittles flavors. It's like that in West Virginia too. Walmart abandoned that state. Okay, so maybe West Virginia can also be a fair comparison to the Yucatan Peninsula. Let's see. Yes, autopsy is spied for growing old with the same limited boring options. Also, I don't like fish. Weak. Yeah, I have been cursed with living in a coastal place, so fish has been always available, and that was the bane of my existence as a kid. Every freaking week, at least twice, my grandma took me to a restaurant to eat fish. I mean, the gesture is nice, but having to eat fish, yeah, that was suffering. When I got to eat shrimp, okay, that was alright. Nowadays, fish is so full of mercury, it's actually bad for your brain. Well, I guess I did it in the 90s, so I didn't get a mercury brain. That's conspiracy nonsense. Edgar, I have read about it. Yeah, there is a lot of mercury in fish from contamination from, a lot of factories and things. And that mercury makes it back to, I think, the zooplankton, phytoplankton. And then, that is eaten by fish, and those fish are eaten by other fish. And then we eat those fish, so we end up eating the mercury, so... Yeah, I think that even doctors recommend women, pregnant women, to be careful about eating fish because of the mercury. I mean, even my veterinary has told me to be careful with the fish that I give to my cats. That's how bad it is. Oh yeah, the microplastics. I also have read about that. I guess I'm glad I don't eat as much fish now. I did enjoy a shrimp cocktail last week, but I hadn't eaten that since last year. And that was just a little gift from my grandma, so... I have no problem with that. SpongeBob even had an episode where he found the giant Pacific garbage patch. I think I remember that one. That comparison is like saying eggs are toxic because there are people with very specific conditions that can eat eggs or will get very sick. I think that there is a difference because the allergy only affects the person suffering the allergy. But mercury can build up in your body, and mercury, organic mercury is insanely toxic. I have read so much about that one. Yeah, mercury by itself, the metallic mercury, even from, like a thermometer, it's not so bad, but it's not good. I mean, you shouldn't touch it with your bare hand, but it's not gonna kill you. But organic mercury, I think that even a small drop can cause severe brain damage. And for example, I think that when, you know, the mercury kind of evaporates, the fumes, they can get absorbed into the blood and become organic mercury. I forgot the accurate name, okay? I don't remember the accurate name. But something like that. And yeah, it's insanely toxic. Okay, wait, okay. The gluten one is kind of a bandwagon that people began to ride on because they thought that the gluten had like calories. So if it doesn't have any gluten, yeah, it doesn't have calories, and that's not how it works. There are people that have a legit, you know, the celiac disease. Those people can eat gluten. But besides that, it's just people pretending. Or people who don't understand how gluten works or what gluten is. So, yeah. Yeah, I know that one is a legit case where that person cannot consume gluten because it will cause them a lot of problems. But besides that, a lot of people are healthy and they jumped on the bandwagon. You know, like the lactose thing. Imagine if people pretended to be lactose intolerant just because it sounds trendy or fashionable. Those with allergies may have problems with certain types of food. I know that food allergies are a thing. As far as I know, celiac disease is something else. It's not exactly an allergy. Also, lactose intolerance is not an allergy either. But, you know, if you're lactose intolerant, you shouldn't be eating dairy, you know, because it's gonna give you pain and it's gonna make you sick. It's not an allergy. You know, because the people that have allergies might die from an anaphylactic shock. That's a serious risk. Celiac disease, I don't remember if celiac can kill you. I honestly don't know. I know that lactose intolerance doesn't kill. Unless, you know, like the diarrhea dehydrates you too much. But it doesn't have anything deadly in itself. Yeah, I don't remember the details. So I can tell, for example, if celiac kills. I feel that it doesn't. I feel like it's like lactose intolerance, but I don't know if eating gluten with celiac disease has any serious effects. I don't remember it. It hasn't been a long time since the last time I read about it. So yeah, being honest about that, I don't know. As for lactose intolerance, yeah, I know that it doesn't kill. Unless, you know, you're careless with the diarrhea. And also you go too hard on the dairy. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I would die if I were lactose intolerant. Because milk is my elixir of life. It's the thing that saves me when there is no food or when I'm hungry but I don't feel like eating. Yeah, milk comes in to save the day. So if I didn't have that, I would be dead. You know, I guess that is like the one good thing I got from the Spanish side of my family. You know, the European genes, lactose tolerance. That is the only good thing that European DNA gave me. I can drink skim milk. Well, I have heard jokes about that. You know that skim milk is just water. I have no idea because I don't think skim milk even exists where I live. There is milk, you know, they call it deslactosada. I'm not sure how they call it in English, but they break up the lactose into, I think, glucose or something similar. So that way, lactose intolerant people should be able to drink it without, you know, ill effects. There's also a brand of milk that specifically mentions that the lactose has been removed. So it's different from the previous one, where the lactose was broken up. In this one, it was removed. I also, you know, I joke with my mom about that because she drinks that one, and I tell her that she's just drinking painted water. That's not milk. I mean, if it doesn't have lactose anymore, it's not even milk. Cool little fact, everyone is propense to be lactose intolerant. If you become one after avoiding dairy, just eat them again slowly to start producing casein-degrading enzymes. I heard of people losing their lactose tolerance. I hadn't heard about people regaining lactose tolerance. So yeah, I didn't know about that one. I know about a friend who kind of regrets it because he screwed up. He did like a ketogenic diet, and as a result, he lost his lactose tolerance. I protect mine with my life. Lactose tolerance is probably my only redeeming trait. It has protein in it, lactate and Fairlife milk. Lol, painted water. Yeah, I joke with my mom about that because, you know, like you drink milk without lactose. Imagine drinking water without H2O. That's how I joke with her. Or, you know, imagine drinking Pepsi without the Pepsi. You're just drinking water at that point. Are you going to watch the FAO Schwartz video after the stream? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it while I make dinner. God damn it. I was just like a pixel away from climbing to that wall. Man, I didn't memorize the entire mercury selenium reaction mechanism on fish in food engineering for this. Okay. Alright, if it's your area of expertise, I'm sorry, okay? I only am, well, you could say, I read a lot of books when I was a kid, okay? That's where my knowledge comes from. I read a lot of books, a hell of a lot of books, when I was a kid and a teen. I mean, I think up until I was like 15 years old, when I was in secondary school, I was reading like 100 books per year for the 3 years that secondary school lasted. In high school, I didn't get many chances to read anymore, and also the library was much less robust than the one in the secondary school. Well, technically, it's not exactly high school, it's preparatoria, but you know, it's like the last 3 years of high school. So yeah, Edgar, I don't know how this selenium reacts with the mercury. I have no idea, okay? I admit when I don't know something. So yeah, I'm not aware in that case. How it works, I have no idea. Schwartz also used to have giant statues of video game characters like Mario, Sonic, and Crash Bandicoot in their store. No Mega Man, unfortunately, as far as I can recall. Even if it wasn't Mega Man, that would have been cool. I mean, going out with my family on weekends would have been a hell of a lot more interesting if we had places like that instead of absolutely nothing. Because god damn it, even the museums that this place has are wasted potential. Let me tell you a funny story. Well, not exactly a story, but you know, something funny. This place was once, you know, part of, you know, it was a prominent part of the Mayan Empire. So, I mean, the Mayan civilization has been here for millennia. Not even centuries, freaking millennia, at least 1,500 years or so, more, maybe more. I think it's more, I don't remember. Okay, there is a ton of stuff about the Mayan civilization. You know, their pyramids, their warfare, you know, their clothes, their weapons. There's their language even. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Do you know what my city does? It's not even a city, but you know, the city focuses on freaking pirates from the colonial period. That's what they do. They focus almost everything on the freaking colonial period and pirates. Because yeah, pirates. I will never forgive my state for that. There's potential to have interesting things here, and they completely wasted it on things no one freaking cares about. I mean, because as Mexicans, you know, colonial times are kind of a stain in our history. We don't really want to remember. And to be constantly reminded of that, yeah, I don't like that. And well, that is in addition of, you know, being a backwards place. And there's nothing for kids either, you know. But if at least we had a single interesting museum, I would have appreciated that. But not even that I was allowed to have as a kid. Okay, let me read what Edgar posted. Yes, mixing foods can F you up. Yes, consuming too much of something can F you up. But when we're talking about the average healthy person, there is no risk of mercury, histamine poisoning from fresh, uncontaminated fish. Okay, touché. Alright, I get that. Now, I would like to ask, how uncontaminated is fish in your average store in, you know, the average Mexican town? You know, not the Mexican cities, the Mexican town. Because somehow I don't really trust their sanitary standards too much. You know, that is the same reason why we can't have beef rare. Because we know that that beef is contaminated as hell. We have to cook it well or we get sick. And I know that fish is also iffy with that. There are some parasites and stuff, so I would wonder how reliably can one get uncontaminated fish in your average Mexican town? Otherwise, I agree, okay? Fresh uncontaminated fish, provided that, you know, it's stored in the proper conditions, there shouldn't be any problem, I guess. But let's say that a lot of things are done sloppily, places that are not as developed, so... I mean, my grandma is a nurse. Well, was a nurse. And she taught me to never really trust the sanitary standards of any place that is not my home. That is what she taught me. The only way that you can know for sure that your food was not prepared with filthy hands and contaminated utensils and whatnot is if you make it yourself or if your mother makes it. That's what she taught me. Well, also if she makes it, of course. They glue googly eyes on fish one time. Do you remember when it appeared on the news? Yes, that is an unforgettable classic. Yeah, that's precisely what I'm asking. I know that in respectable places, yeah, fresh fish is gonna be safe. I guess that also works, you know, because we in the South make fun of the Mexican North because we say that they eat their meat raw. I understand if they have higher standards of sanitation, okay, maybe you can eat uncooked beef without ill effects. But if you do that here, you're playing a Russian roulette. You know, you're asking to get a nasty parasite infection. Yeah, the googly eyes thing. You know, I think that the entire, I mean, Mexico as a country has a lot of the equivalents to the Florida man. I think food poisoning was one of the top death causes here. I know. Like I told you, my grandma was a nurse for 40 years. She taught me about like every possible danger, and she always remarked that food poisoning was a huge cause of death in the region. So she always taught me, you know, wash your hands, cook everything well, make sure that you don't cross-contaminate, and also don't trust any places where you haven't cooked the food yourself or your mom didn't make it. That is what I live by. Yeah, I mean, the only people I can trust to make food that is not contaminated besides myself, well, were my mother and my grandma. My grandma doesn't cook anymore, but when she did, yeah. So that's it. Only 3 people in the world are trustworthy with food for me. By the way, a funnier thing is that, you know, because my grandma was a nurse, obviously my mom also knows everything about, you know, keeping sanitation in the kitchen. My father refused to listen to her advice, and when he got, I don't know if my mom made it or, probably she didn't. My father made himself some fried eggs, leaving the yolk raw. Next thing that happened, the man almost died of salmonella. And my mom warned him about that. He still did it, and he almost died. He was hospitalized for like 2 months, I think. That was like 10 years before I was born. Really. I was one raw egg away from not being born. Yeah, salmonella is not a joke. Being a home cook is at least better than most restaurants at the very least. Yeah. Sometimes I don't have the energy to cook, but most of the time, yeah, it works for me. You know what? I know what I'm doing. I know what food I have. Okay, I can make something for me. I don't mind. I mean, I can do it. It feels normal. You know, I'm hungry, I make food. Because I know a lot of guys, you know, sadly this is part of our Latin American culture. There are a lot of men who deliberately never learn how to cook because they are completely dependent on having a mom, wife, or sister that will do it. Yeah, that is unacceptable for me. But a lot of people live that way. I know many, personally. I am like, okay, and what do you do if your wife is not at home? I wait for her to come back. And if you're hungry, I wait for her to come back. I am like, I want to strangle him like Homer does to Bart. That's how I feel about that. Like, you're being useless on purpose. I mean, in the meanwhile, you know, while bratty kids and also bratty husbands refuse to cook because they say that that's what they have the mom for, when I was 9 years old, I was already learning how to make scrambled eggs. And here's the kicker. I was learning how to make eggs because I wanted to learn. Nobody ever told me to learn to cook for myself. I learned because I wanted, because I saw, you know, these eggs are delicious the way my mom makes it. How does she do it so I can do it myself? That was my line of thought. Yeah, fun times. It took me, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think that it took me up until I was like 16 years old to actually surpass my mom's recipe. Yeah, by now, at least on scrambled eggs, I did manage almost an impossible feat to surpass your mom's cooking. But everything else, obviously my mom has me beat. I know how to make more things. And they are decent, they're edible. But obviously, I can beat decades of experience that easily. Okay, let me see the chat. I can't stand seeing red pink on allegedly cooked meat. Yeah, me neither. To me, you show me that, I'm gonna go Gordon Ramsay. It's raw. I'm gonna go Gordon Ramsay on anyone that offers me pink meat or reddish meat. It's raw. By the way, what's this stage? Just one big drop? Let me show you. This is Jumpman's stage from Mega Man 7. And yeah, the big area is the big drop, but well, I couldn't show you more. There is more to it than the drop. Okay, let's see another map. I mean, it has a big drop, and also it has some areas. It has some ladders too. Yeah, this is Korea, just like Gordon Ramsay. I mean, I think this is something that most of southern Mexicans can agree on. That the way the North cooks meat, that's not cooking. We always, I mean, if they show us pink, red meat, we're gonna be like, that thing can still move. Like, if you take it to the vet, they can still revive it. Yeah, and you know, as the grandson of a nurse, it's completely unacceptable for me to eat meat like that because I know it's gonna make me sick. Yeah, it's well cooked or nothing. That thing has to be brown. I have to make sure that every freaking bacteria and parasite is dead, or I'm not eating that thing. Thin cuts of brown meat will do for me if I'm asking for soft tacos. Well, the thing is, that's how we make meat in southern Mexico, at least. We do thin cuts of meat, we cook them well, and you know, with a good marinade, they taste good. Because I have heard a lot of times, you know, people say well done meat is just shoe soles. You know, like it doesn't have any taste, it's hard to chew. Yeah, that is only if you don't know how to make it. Because my mom has been making that for years. And, you know, with a good marinade and... Well, I don't know all the details about how she cooks it. But the result is thin cuts of brown meat that taste amazing and are soft. So nothing like the shoe soles that people describe when they talk about well done meat. I have some awareness that these techniques might not work for the thicker cuts of meat that Americans like to use. Yeah, that's probably it. But also, the thicker cuts of meat are almost non-existent here because no one ever cooks that way, except people who come from the outside. And you know, when someone wants to make grilled meat, you know, with a grill, we joke about that. It's like, this is not Monterrey. Why are you making meat like that? Yeah, because we are so different culturally from the north that, yeah, it's funny when you see someone trying to imitate. to imitate that. I don't care about your rare bullshit. In fact, I not only want well done, I want full congratulations. Okay, I'm stealing that line, Edgar. I'm gonna write it down, I'm gonna steal it. Because I think that there's gonna be one day where I will get to use that line. I'm taking a screen capture of my cell phone. Yeah, one day I will get to use that line. The only thing I will feel shoe sauce or chewiness of ground meats is only if I'm eating at some kind of fast restaurant. Well, you could say that you get what you pay for. In many fast restaurants, obviously, they are not gonna put the same amount of care into the meat as, you know, your mom would put. Well, to be honest, I don't think anyone in the planet is going to put the same amount of care into your food than your own mother will, so... But still, there are standards. Okay, that was fast. Okay, let's go for the funny map. So yeah, DC Korea, some places do have standards. In many, they probably won't. But that doesn't mean that you can't make it good if, you know, restaurants can't. That's what I'm telling you. A lot of people, even here locally, a lot of people believe that well done meat is tasteless, chewy, and like a shoe sole. And I've been telling them for years. My mom knows how to make it. I'm learning how to make it myself. But she knows how to make it. It's nothing like you described. Also, I was looking at a video and the current FAO charts doesn't really have video games like it used to because of the Nintendo store in New York. Well, that is also sad to know. That's because they oftentimes think of states when it comes to meats. Yeah, I was mentioning that too, that the way we cook and eat meat in southern Mexico at least is radically different from what you see in the US. I know that the US is most similar to the Mexican norm. You know, thick cuts of meat, half cooked. Yeah, okay, I might understand that. But it's not the same as here. I don't know if my mom's techniques would work on thicker cuts of meat. I suspect they wouldn't. Well, the easy solution is we don't eat thick cuts of meat. Also, they're expensive as hell, so, you know, they come in with their own protection system, yeah. You can't eat it because it's expensive, so you don't have to worry about how to cook it. Yeah, Latin poverty. Nowadays, I think the FAO Schwartz is being kept alive more by the nostalgia the Rockefeller family has for it, more than toy sales, and kids don't care for toys much over their phones and video games. I thought only me and a few people were believed that, but more and more people tell me that, and I even mentioned, I remember years ago when I did streams on, the purple YouTube, I mentioned I am actually kind of concerned that where are gonna kids get their imagination? Sorry, I can't speak right now. Where are gonna kids get their imagination from? Because at least in the 90s, up to the 90s, we had toys. We could imagine stories, and create like epic battles and stuff, or funny stories or whatever. Okay, but it wasn't all about video games. The Super Nintendo was a nice thing. I played like 2 hours a day, and that's it. The rest of the day, if I wanted to entertain myself, I had toys. I also didn't watch all that much TV. I did watch some, but the most important thing to entertain myself was, to use my imagination, to play with toys and that kind of thing. And kids nowadays are not doing that anymore, so creativity, I think that creativity is gonna be dead, or gonna be nearly dead, because it's getting suffocated before it can even be born. All kids playing on their phones and iPads and all that stuff, and well, what the hell? What's gonna happen? Creativity is gonna be lost. At least artistic creativity is gonna be lost. Or it's gonna be very low, because who's gonna develop imagination and creativity when all you want is, one phone away or one console away? I am actually worried about that. I know that I'm not gonna live long enough to see the consequences, but I am concerned for mankind about that one. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, Ogan Hyper. The next one is gonna be the corrupted stage. Okay, let me see the rest of the chat. Medium rare is my usual serving. If it's a normal steak, like a ribeye from a steakhouse, any type of meat cooking preference, like complete brown is fine to me, as long as it fits instructions. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Also, TikTok or YouTube Shorts, well, more that those are killing their imaginations. Yeah, all of that. I know that TikTok has done a lot of damage. I'm aware of that. I guess I can be proud to say I have never in my life installed or used TikTok. Yeah, I think that creativity in kids is getting killed and no one is batting an eye about it, so... And you know what, the funny thing is, I'm not really in a position to speak about that because I'm gonna be childless. So yeah, people are gonna tell me, if you're not gonna have kids, why are you worried? And I guess they have a point. But I still feel like it's gonna be a bad thing and nobody will notice until it's too late. And by then I will probably be long dead, but still. Did you see that South Park episode where Kyle got addicted to TikTok and Kermit started spreading the rumor about Kyle to make him mad and get him off? No, I haven't watched any recent South Park episodes. I probably should. I haven't even watched the COVID ones. You know what? now that I think about it, I think that the last episodes I watched, and I don't really remember what season they're in, are like the one about gluten, and I think the one where Cartman had a girlfriend. I don't know how far apart they are, but those are some of the last episodes I can remember. Where Cartman had a girlfriend that was kinda like him, but worse, and the gluten one. I remember also that there was like a mini arc of those episodes about Stan's dad being Lorder. I think it's still free to watch on Comedy Central since it's the most recent season. Yeah, I probably should watch it. I haven't in a while. I haven't kept up with that. People are leaving. I have to wake up at 5:30. Good night. Good night, Edgar. Thank you for sticking around. I know that it's late. It's a Sunday night. I think it's gonna be just one more match, and that's gonna be it. Wait, it's only the two of us left? God damn it. Okay. I thought there were more people, but okay. Alright, we can make it work. By the way, I couldn't stop thinking about the Food and Drug Administration every time Kat mentioned that store. F.A. Schwarz is named after the immigrant from Germany who came to New York to open a toy store 160 years ago. His name is Frederick August Otto Schwarz. I didn't make the confusion because I know that the Food and Drug is the FDA, so I had no idea what was the FAO. For almost 150 years, F.A. Schwarz was in the same place until it closed down. That is an impressive track record. 150 years of business in the same place. F.A. Schwarz was basically a landmark of New York until electronics caused kids to lose interest in toys, And they had to shut down because they weren't making enough money to live in an expensive place like New York City. Well, technology making things worse once again. Why am I not surprised? Ah, god damn it. Ripped and scrapped. Ah. Okay, that was horrible. Okay, no problem, this is Korea. You basically have to be a millionaire to live in New York, and probably a billionaire if your store is in a skyscraper. Okay, not gonna lie, I do hate it when two of the lightning beams come together. That is almost a death sentence. God damn it. headquarters also used to be a chain, since there was one in San Francisco I used to go to as a kid, but they all shut down in the 2000s, 2010s. And only the New York one is still around. Okay, let me grab the last map. Okay, we're gonna make this a little different. Okay. It's not gonna be a deathmatch to 10. And let's see. Where's the map? Airbase, airbase, airbase. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be the last match for the night. Okay, I wanted to make something different. Wait, never mind. Okay, it didn't work? Wait. Okay, wait. The custom didn't work? Wait a moment. Don't worry, it wasn't your fault, okay? I'm just checking. Ah, damn it. No. I didn't want to start it. Okay, I'm gonna change it to a 1v1 because it doesn't work. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not what I was trying to do. Yeah. Okay, it's not gonna work like I wanted. I wanted to do like with max life and hyper modes. Yeah, but it's not really working. Okay, you know what? I guess I can modify it here. I think you need like... I'm gonna give 30 scrap, whatever. Okay, I think it's... I hope it works. Hyper only works for 1v1. Okay, I didn't do 90. I didn't do max scrap, okay, but I think it should be enough. Okay, and I guess I can use the rest for hearts. Well, close enough. It didn't quite work as I wanted. I mean, I did put in the settings to start with max life, so I don't know why that didn't work. By the way, Papu, there's one thing I don't understand. How were you able to have like a hyper match? It wasn't a 1v1, it was a normal match like this. Somehow I feel that the regeneration stopped working, I don't know why. Maybe because I wasn't at full health, I don't know. Okay, that acid is deadly. Damn. And my regeneration doesn't work anymore. Okay, I need to be careful because I almost died. Yeah, this is not such a good idea anymore. Yeah. Okay, I wonder if the regeneration will kick in if I stand still without doing anything. I mean, not even charging. Please kick in. Okay, it's not working. Damn, the regeneration really stopped working. This is bad. This is really bad. I guess my only hope is to heal back with items because otherwise... Okay, rip. I already lost. Without the golden armor, I'm not gonna be a match. God damn it. I should probably buy the heart upgrade, but yeah, the golden armor is going to be of more use. Okay. Let me see the chat. Also, I spotted CDI Zelda in the FAO Schwartz video I posted. Also, rare instance of Charles Martinet's Mario voice prior to Mario 64. But that is very rare indeed. Charles Martinet recorded lines just for FAO Schwartz video game sections. Shows what a big deal they used to be. Yeah, very. Okay, this is the last golden armor I will get in this match. I have to use it wisely. Oof. Okay, I think I'm gonna lose this one. Well, GG. I was totally expecting to lose. Okay, let me see the chat. Also, you can see one of the big statues I told you about earlier about the Sega Genesis part. There's a statue of Tails. That damn gold armor. I didn't even know that existed. That gold armor is my personal favorite and it's amazing. The Hypermax armor, or you know, in Dive. Well, in Dive they call it the third armor, but it's not the golden one. But yeah, that one. Well, GG, and also, well, I'm calling it for the night. That's gonna be it for the stream. So, thank you for sticking around. Okay, and you know, at the end of the stream, I always tell you what's coming up next. And you know, tomorrow I'm gonna be playing Mega Man 4 Game Boy. I might be able to do a surprise stream after that, depending on how long it takes. I don't know for sure, but if I don't take too long to beat the game, I might do an extra stream. Okay, and you know, on Thursday, we're gonna have Mega Man 5 Game Boy, and also possibly a surprise stream too. It depends on how things go. I'm also considering having a stream on Wednesday, but again, it's a surprise. Okay, so that's all I can tell you right now. And you know, on Friday it's gonna be Dive, hopefully without crashing or with fewer crashes. And on weekends the same, MMXOD. Mega Man for Game Boy is pretty long for a Game Boy game. Yeah, okay, in that case, maybe it's only gonna be Mega Man 4 Game Boy and that's it. I'm gonna try to have a stream on Wednesday and also on Friday, depending on how long it takes. Sorry, on Thursday, depending on how long it takes to defeat Mega Man 5. In the Mega Man 5 bosses, you also have to find the letters W, I, L, and Y, or you can enter the final level. Okay, alright. Well, I think that those are the plans for next week. So, it's a lot easier than 3 Game Boy, but harder than 1 and 2 Game Boy. Understandable. Alright guys, well, thank you for sticking around. I know that it's late, okay, but have a good night. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow on the Mega Man 4 Game Boy stream. Until the next time.